Hi guys, welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. We're watching midday market move check with me, Nandita, Khemka, and my colleague here, Yatin, Mota, who's of course once again cheering for Men in Blue, given the fact that we have the all-important clash between India and Pakistan tomorrow. So, Yatin, before we talk about the markets, let me ask you one question: which contest would you really be watching out for? Shaheen Afridi versus Rohit Sharma, or Haris Rauf versus Virat Kohli?
No, it's all about India versus Pakistan. It's not about the players. I think the kind of electrifying environment we are expected to see tomorrow, it's something amazing. And obviously it's happening in India's largest stadium, the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Let's see how really things shape up, but I'm expecting fireworks tomorrow, especially from the Indian side. So yes, and I hope today the market also cheers the Indian team by turning
Yeah,
into
right
green.
now the mood is looking pretty somber, but you know what I'll be watching out for, of course, is my favorite cricketer Virat Kohli, and whether or not Shubham Gill will make a comeback or not in this match. He was seen practicing in the nets after recovering from dengue, so that's one thing that of course fans will be keenly watching out for, because so far he's missed out on the first two games. But on that note, let's talk about what the markets are doing. Mood is somber, given the fact that we are seeing weakness in the IT pack as well as the banking pack. So the Nifty managed to claw back above that 19,700 mark, but 80-point cut nevertheless. But the good point is that the mid and small cap indices are fairly resilient. They're trading largely in the negative to positive zone, flattish, and managing to hold out and not participate in the kind of sell-off that we've seen in the large caps. Let's talk about some of the sectors today. Of course, as I mentioned, IT and banks top laggards, but what's doing well is the pharma, FMCG, and realty. Realty index was up in excess of 1% or thereabouts last time I checked. Talking about the individual movers, you have the likes of HCL TECH. Of course, brokerages have kind of expressed caution, but they are saying that the fact that they are focusing more on the H2 recovery is something that has cut ice with them, and that's why this stock is the top gainer. IndusInd Bank, Tata Consumer, Nestle are some of the other gainers. Among the losers, we have Infosys, Axis Bank and SBI. Of course, UBS downgrades coming in. Yatin will be talking about that in details. Wipro also a loser, and Eicher Motors from the auto pack. Let's talk about Infosys. Of course, the guidance cut takes precedence over the kind of strong quarter that they have handed in. But of course, Infosys has a record of under promising and over delivering. So that's what happened in this quarter. But this guidance cut came as a surprise, even though it wasn't a large cut. But even then, I think market participants were expecting them to up the lower end of the guidance. But what has happened is that they have cut the higher end of the guidance. So we saw a 6% cut coming in the ADR last night. But even now, it is a top loser, but 2.5% kind of cut is something that we have seen right now. If you look at the brokerages, Nomura has a neutral rating, and target price has been maintained at 1,400 rupees per share. It says that the EBIT margin is seen at somewhere around midpoint of the guided range of 20 to 22%, right? And EPS estimate has been, I think, changed by 1 to 2%. So no big cut coming in. Even same for the other brokerages like Morgan Stanley and Bernstein as well. I think no big cuts coming in, but sentiment has turned bearish, at least in the near term, given the fact that we've seen a cut in guidance. HCL TECH, as I mentioned, the management commentary is more on the deal wins and how H2 is expected to be strong. And the recent deals like Verizon and ASAP acquisition that they made, they will start contributing to the revenues from this quarter onwards. So they are expected to do well in the coming quarters. But aside of that, Yatin, let's talk about banks. Axis Bank and SBI, rating cut coming in from UBS. Fill us in as to why they have chosen to downgrade these.
So UBS has downgraded SBI to a sell. The target price is cut sharply from 740 to 530. Axis Bank downgraded to neutral. Target price cut from 1150 to 1100. And Kotak, they have maintained a sell, but they have reduced the target price further from 2050 to 1875. So most of the banks are witnessing price cuts from UBS because they believe that the unsecured loan book for most of these banks have been rising at a very fast pace, probably which would turn bad in the short to medium term, and hence they are slightly skeptical. In the RBI press meet also, the government was pointing out the personal loans and the unsecured borrowing, which is taken a manifold jump in the past few months or so. So probably UBS has taken a contra call on the entire banking space, which is expected to weaken in terms of the asset quality in the future.
Right, HDFC Bank will be in focus on Monday. Once again, banks will be in focus on Monday, given the fact that HDFC Bank will be reporting numbers on Sunday, and of course, margin pressure is something
They'll
that
not. They are reporting on Monday. Sunday is the board meet. The
okay,
numbers
so
come
numbers
on Monday.
will come out on Monday.
Yeah.
So okay, so that way they will be the stock will be in focus on Monday, and of course brokerages have also already flagged out that we could expect some bit of margin pressure
Yeah.
in the aftermath of the merger. So that's something that we'll be watching out for. Aside of that, as I was mentioning that the mid cap end of the markets is holding up today. Yatin, Ircon and Rice,
Yeah.
they have been
The railway stocks are doing well.
Status. So
Yeah.
that is something that's doing well. But aside of that, HDFC AMC, that stock was also rallying given the fact that they have seen market share gain in the quarter gone by, and brokerages have upped their target price on this stock. Aside of these stocks, which are the other stocks that you're spotting?
So in the PSU space, ITI and MMTC, these are the two stocks which are doing well. ITI up 17%, MMTC up 10%. What's not doing well is the likes of Infosys and Bandhan Bank. Both of these stocks are down 3% each. But if you look at a few of these mid caps, they're flying in trades. So Ceylon Exploration up 4%, SpiceJet up 9%, Yatra, a recent listing, that stock is up 10%. We have earnings for Yatra next week.
Yeah.
So that stock is doing well. So a lot of these small caps are flying around in trade. And if you look at the stocks which are at 52-week highs, we have the likes of HDFC, AMC, NAM India. Both of these asset management companies are up and at 52-week highs. Brokerage stocks like Angel One are doing well. NMDC, REC, Coal India being GAIL being the PSUs which are hitting fresh 52-week highs in trade today.
Well, those are the stocks hitting fresh 52-week highs, and we had macro data come in last evening, pretty encouraging, given the fact that retail inflation has cooled off to a 3-month low of 5%. So that's some bit of comfort coming in, and IIP, of course, for the month of August has grown in excess of 10%. So that's also kind of good news on the macro front. But as experts were also mentioning that Q2 earnings will be the next deciding factor as to where the markets are headed. But with that, we've come to the end of this edition of midday market mood check. Of course, we'll be back at 3:30 p.m. To talk about how the markets end up closing for the day and for the week, and of course all the stocks that we'll be focusing in on. But with that, it's wrap on this one, and goodbye from me and Yatin. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates.